If you look at the world rankings and analyze the recent Grand Slam tournaments, two names inevitably stand out: Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. Both are still very young. In fact, they are really only just in the early part of their careers, yet they've already achieved so much. The question is, how far will they go? In this video, I share my thoughts on this and whether they will manage to break further records. Let's start with the facts. Alcaraz was born in 2003 and has won 7 Grand Slam titles so far. Sinner was born in 2001 and has won 4 Grand Slam titles so far. Both of them have the potential for another 10 successful years on the tour. We've seen from the previous generation just how much is still possible up to the age of 35. Only time will tell whether these two players aspire to or will achieve such a long career. I think that if there's a chance to break old records, the motivation will be just as high. However, to surpass 24 Grand Slam titles, Sinner would need to win an average of 2 Grand Slam titles per year over the next 10 years, while for Alcaraz, the next 12 years would succeed with an average of about 1.5 Grand Slam titles per year. Given the current situation, it's almost certain that one of them will win one of the upcoming Grand Slam tournaments, which would make setting new records a distinct possibility. Of course, injuries will happen and the road to recovery will be rocky as a result. That's certainly something that's impossible to predict. It is also inevitable that one or more players will catch up to these two in the coming years and will then certainly have a say when it comes to winning Grand Slam tournaments. But which one of the two will end up with more wins and perhaps even break the existing records? In any case, Alcaraz's 7 titles and his younger age certainly speak in his favor. What's more, he is undoubtedly the player with the most potential right now, and when he is in top form, he is probably the best player in the world. Sinner's steady progress, consistency, and willingness to try new approaches give him an edge against Alcaraz in top form. To me, Sinner embodies the consistent, reliable player who works tirelessly with his team to keep improving. Alcaraz is a player who, in addition to his power, also brings a great deal of finesse to the court and is constantly capable of producing surprises with his playing style. That said, Alcaraz's emotion can often be a hindrance. He is ready to deliver on the big stage, but lately he's seemed a bit off, and that makes it very difficult for him to reach the level he needs to. It seems to me that Alcaraz needs a special challenge to play with positive emotions. The Grand Slams certainly provide that challenge. But what if in 2 or 3 years these tournaments lose some of their appeal for him and start to feel like a chore? If by then he has developed the ability to channel his emotions effectively, it will be dangerous for Sinner and everyone else. If not, he could hit a rough patch. To me, Sinner represents more consistency, and I wouldn't be surprised if he eventually ends up leading the race for Grand Slam titles at some point. For tennis fans, this matchup is definitely exciting and there's something for everyone depending on their preferences. And at some point a new face will emerge who will want to have a say when it comes to Grand Slam titles. It's very hard for me to predict who that might be. In any case, there are a few young players with enormous potential, but actually realizing that potential is a whole different story. Of our players, Yuri Rodionov was in action in Madrid this week. It's his first clay court tournament of the year, and he felt quite comfortable on clay last year. The outlook wasn't great, as he had barely trained the week before due to a cold, so expectations weren't too high. After 2 tough matches, Yuri had already made it to the quarterfinals, which came as a pleasant surprise. I spent another week in Summer Bay and had the opportunity to train with young talents from a wide variety of countries, including England, Germany, Austria, Italy, and Egypt. The conditions for tennis have been perfect here in Summer Bay lately. Of course, sunshine is guaranteed, but the temperatures have been very pleasant, so our courts have been well used these past few days. Thank you for your interest and see you in the next video.